Hey guys, Tiki Tech Guru here today, and it has truly been a long time since I put out a video. Now today's video is more talking and explaining of processes that occur when trying to maintain contacts on both Android and iOS. Alright, so imagine you were given a brand new Galaxy phone and it is your first Android phone, and you have been previously using iPhone for the entire life of yours since you got your first cell phone. So you have basically used your iCloud calendars and contacts more than your iCloud email, or you might have used your iCloud email just as the same. But now suppose, let's just focus on the contacts, and you want to move all those contacts to your Android phone, but you still want to be able to use your Mac and other Apple devices to keep adding contacts, and you also want to be able to keep track of the new contacts you add in Android. Now the issue here is that iCloud data is somewhat difficult to bring to Android, especially due to platform compatibility issues. But if you were previously on Android and had a Google account that you were using, you would notice that when you were setting your iPhone up, the Google account was where you were adding your contacts and calendar events. So therefore, you wouldn't really be even using the iCloud service as much as you would be using your Google service on your iPhone. But since iCloud issues persist when you want to migrate your calendars and contacts to Android, there are drawbacks. However, in this video, I'm only going to be examining the case for moving the iCloud contacts to Android. So I will be addressing how do you move your iCloud contacts without the hassle of trial and error of apps that are on the Google Play Store, and how you can avoid all those POP and IMAP server setup tutorials. Now, some might have worked, some might have not. Some might have been just temporary workaround, right? But you were never satisfied at the end of the day. And the other thing I'll be addressing in this video will be, what if you choose to go back to iOS? What happens then? So let's go ahead and get started in this video. Alright guys, so one approach to this method can be that you can basically import all those contacts to your iPhone's SIM card and then move that SIM card into your Android phone and copy the contacts off. But the problem with that is, what if your SIM card can only carry a specific amount and not the entire amount of your contacts? So now that's going to be an issue. So it's better to just go and do this whole process on a cloud-based method. And so to do this, open up your internet browser, Safari or Google Chrome, Firefox, whatever you prefer, and go to contacts.google.com. And then basically sign in with your Google account. Once that is done, go ahead and fire the Contacts app and go to All Contacts. Now for my video's purpose, I'm just going to be using the demo group that I created here, and we're going to select all the contacts except for the contact that is our card. So go ahead and do that by pressing on the keyboard Command and A, and that's going to select all the contacts. Now hold the Command key, and let's just say that demo 1.5 was my name, so I would just unselect that, and then basically I would right click and click Export vCard, and basically, as you can see, I already have my contacts saved in a folder, but I would just name this group something like contacts or anything you wish, and make sure that the hide extension checkbox is not there, and then click save. Now what happens after that? This is where all your iCloud contacts will go into Google, and this happens right here by going back to the browser and clicking on More to your very left side, and then clicking the import option. Now when you do that, make sure you click on the bottom here, CSV or vCard file. And when you do that, you're going to have to go to the old version of Google Contacts, but don't worry, all your contacts are going to be imported. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to More again, and by the way, it's going to ask your default country for phone numbers in contacts is United States. Do you accept or change? You can change it or accept it. I'm just going to click accept because that is the right country. And now I'm going to go to More, click Import, choose my file, and I'm going to select in desktop my iCloud contacts folder, choose that, and I'm going to upload my contacts, which I'm going to choose and hit import. And now all my contacts are going to be imported into Google. So just wait for this process to finish. So there you go, all my contacts are showing up, and you can also see that the groups that were created, they are also showing up. Alright guys, so one thing I'm going to address later in the video is that be sure to create an added in Google group. Now this is not hard at all. All you have to do is just click create label and type in added in Google. Now my label, as you can see, is already created, so I don't need to create it again, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete the label that I just added. And you're gonna see why this is important a little later on. And that is pretty much the first part. Alright guys, so now you see that all my contacts have been uploaded, and basically the groups you saw in the Contacts app are also showing up. But this imported label here is something that Google created, and this is also going to help you out in terms of contact maintenance, and I will get to that in just a little bit. But first, you have to now initiate the connection between Google Contacts and iOS, and you're gonna set up your system of management. And to do that, we're gonna use the platform called If This Then That. So basically IFTTT.com. And as you can see, I've already created my account, but the first thing you're gonna do is, and I'm gonna sign out to show you and walk you through, you're gonna go ahead and click sign up, and then once you do that, make sure you sign up separately and don't continue with Google or Facebook. Just sign up separately with your Google ID, Yahoo ID, with whatever. And then once you have signed up, go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign in. All right, now once you have signed up, you're gonna see this page right here. Now the two things that you are going to turn on in this platform are save new iOS contacts to your Google contacts and save new Google contacts to a Google Drive spreadsheet. And you will find these applets right here in search, and you will click on contacts, and then you can just narrow it down to Google contacts. And here you can see that these applets will show. These are already currently running, but on the second row you will see the same two applets that I turned on. Now once you turn them on, and I want to show you that, once you turn them on, you just turn this button on like I have it, and then basically If This Then That is going to ask you to connect your Google account, and you will use the Google account that you added all your iCloud contacts in, and that should also be the Google account you're going to be using for your Android phone or Galaxy. So this means basically any new iOS contacts that you add will automatically go into Google Contacts. Now the thing you have to change, and that's why I clicked the gear, is you're going to change this group setting from loading to my contacts. And that is what it should be, and then just click save. Now once that is done here, it's going to say applet successfully updated. So that's the first part. Now the second part in the applet is save new Google contacts to a Google Drive spreadsheet. So first of all, you're going to turn on the applet as you see here, and then you're going to click on the gear. Now in this gear, you're going to see that there's going to be this spreadsheet here, Google Contacts, that will be in your Google Drive. But where are you going to find that? That's going to be right here in If This Then That / Google Contacts, which is a folder. So basically, in summary, the first applet lets you get your newly added iOS contacts in Google Contacts, and it will also add those new iOS contacts into this Google spreadsheet. The second applet comes into place when new contacts are created on your Android or Google account, and it is then that those contacts that you added into your Google account come into the spreadsheet. And this was going to help you because later you can add those very same contacts that you added in your Google account back into iCloud manually. But in order for this process to work between the clouds, the IFTTT app has to be installed and set up with your user credentials, as it is the middleman trying to initiate the connection between iCloud and Google. So go ahead and take out your iPhone as well as your Android phone, because I'm going to walk you through the setup on iPhone, and then I'm going to walk you through the setup on Android. Alright guys, so now you can see here that I am on my iPhone, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the App Store, as you might have guessed already. I'm going to go to the search tab at the bottom, so there we are in the search tab, and I'm going to type in IFTTT. And this is the app, the first result you see here. So I already had the app downloaded, but then I deleted it to be able to walk you guys through on how to set it up. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my home screen now and just wait for the app to finish. Now while we're waiting for the app to install, I'm going to go ahead and tell you how you can add contacts and keep your contacts on iOS and Google Contacts in sync, regardless of how you add them. So let's get started. So the very first way you can add contacts is through the Contacts app on your iPhone. Now you can also add contacts via iCloud, your Contacts app on your Mac, or the Contacts app on your iPad or any other Apple device. Now if you are using any Apple device like an iPad or iPhone, you're going to need if this then that to be on those devices. And if you're going to sync contacts by adding them on iCloud or the Contacts app, you're just going to need to go to if this then that online, or you can go on your phone, and basically you're gonna click on the applet for save new iOS contacts to Google Contacts, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Now the same thing happens for Google Contacts. Google Contacts can be added via contacts.google.com, an Android phone or a tablet. For Android phone and tablet, you're going to need to have if this then that installed. And if you want to add contacts via the contacts.google.com link, you would need to fire both of the applets either via the phone or on the website itself. So basically any device that has an app store and has if this then that as an app available, download it. So if you add contacts, whether it's on your iOS device or whether it's on your Google device, they'll all just show up in that spreadsheet. And if you're going to do changes online by going on your internet browser and adding contacts, or using the Contacts app on Mac, then basically you can either run the if this then that app on your phone, or you can go online to if this then that and run the applets, and you should still see the changes. So let's go ahead and set up if this then that on iPhone. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the app, as you guys can see here, and I'm going to swipe right. Again, just do that. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Alright, so when you go ahead and log in, you're going to see these prompts like, if this then that would like to access your contacts, click OK. And then it's going to also give you that prompt of it would like to send you notifications. Go ahead and click allow, and that way you'll know what changes are being made through if this then that. And then just to avoid this, just click got it. And basically that should be it. So right here, if you go to activity and then click got it. So what I ended up doing was, right, when I was testing these applets, I added a contact to my iOS device, and then it would go right into my Google Contacts, but that same contact, as you can see, shows up in that Google spreadsheet. And then I did it again, trying to make sure that it was not a one-time thing. And so it's a pretty consistent thing, as you can see. Now you can see here that the demo Windows contact that I added to Google Contacts, that just only shows up in the spreadsheet. And the reason for that is because I added this contact on my Windows phone, which uses my Google Contacts. So that is why you only see one of that. Now let's go ahead and show you how this works. So basically you don't need to do anything at the moment. But in your My Applets, where you just go to manage your applets, you're going to go ahead, I'm going to click not now for that. You're going to go ahead, and if you add an iOS contact, and let's just say you don't see that contact you don't see any of these changes showing up. Basically, you just click check now, and if it detects a change, it will say the run count will change. So instead of run 7 times, it will be run 8 times. Basically, you'll also see that same notification in your activity feed. Now, we're going to ignore the others and go to the Save New Google Contacts to a Google Drive spreadsheet. So say, for example, you added a new Google contact and you wanted to have that appear in a spreadsheet, and you see that the spreadsheet doesn't show that contact. All you have to do is just hit check now, and the run count will change. So that is that. So that is why these are important, because this is the service that's going to say, oh, okay, hey, here's a new iOS contact, detected it, I'm going to put it into the Google spreadsheet. If there's a new Google contact you create on your Android phone, it's also going to go on your spreadsheet. So this is the IFTTT walkthrough for iOS. Alright guys, so now here on my Galaxy S8 Plus simulator, I'm going to show you how to set up IFTTT and your Contacts app, because this is something vital and many people kind of mess this up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set up the Contacts app first and then IFTTT. So first I'm going to go ahead and open the Contacts app, and then I'm going to click on the More Actions button and then click Manage Contacts. So here I'm going to first go to Sync Contacts, and you can see that my email toggle is turned on. And then I clicked the sync button again just so that my contacts are in sync. But here, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to change the default location, as you saw, and change it to Google. So that is the change I'm going to make. And now that the default storage location is changed, this basically means that I can move all my contacts that I have on my phone to Google, and that all new contacts will now be stored on Google. So since my phone has detected that there are some contacts on Google, I just went ahead and moved them, and that is pretty much the first part for your Contacts app. Now once this is done, go to the Settings app and click on the Apps, and then scroll down and find IFTTT. Once IFTTT is selected, click on the Permissions tab at the bottom and turn on all your toggles so that you are able to use IFTTT to its maximum use, and you can experiment around on your Android phone with all the cool features this app has in terms of applets. So once all of that is done, your connections should start initiating. And to do that, all we have to do now is start experimenting and adding contacts. So here in this Android footage here, you can see that I added a contact called Demo 12, and I selected the groups to add it in. Now, once I did that, shortly the applet ran behind the scenes and I got this notification. But what happens if you add a contact that you want to sync at the moment and the applet doesn't run? Then what you would have to do is, first of all, save the contact, as that's the first thing to do, and then go ahead and go into the If This Then app, and once you go in there, go ahead and run the applet Save New Google Contacts. And you can tell this when you click the Check Now button, it's going to say run, and the counter of times it's been run will change, as you'll see just now. And you can also check the notification in the activity feed, and that is going to be marked by the red dot showing right above the notification, saying that this is the latest run of the applet. Along with that, the notification bar will also have the notification showing as well. There are some drawbacks to these applets here. So the first applet, which is Save New iOS Contacts to your Google Contacts, it works great, but sometimes you're going to realize that the applet is not working. And if that's the case, just restart your device and everything should be fine. Now, if you realize this issue is pretty persistent even after restarting, you might as well want to bring up this issue to IFTTT. Now, the other thing is that this service works every 15 minutes. So maybe it could be that sometimes you might have exceeded your limits. So this is how that shows up if you go into the error feed. But if you want your changes to show up instantly and automatically, what you have to do is just click check now. And this works whether you're using the website or whether you're using the app. Now, the other thing I want to say about this is that what you add into your iOS contact one time, so let's just take a look here in the activity feed. Let's say that I added demo 1.5, right? And this is the number I added, and I also, let's just say, for example, I added an email as well. But now what's going to happen is that this information is going to go to Google Contacts, but if I edit the iOS contact and I say, well, demo 1.5 has another email, and I add that, that change is not going to be reflected in Google Contacts at all. So the drawback here is that the changes you make in iOS after that contact goes to Google Contacts is independent, and the changes you make in a Google contact that came from iOS are totally independent. So that is that. And basically, in simple terms, that means that there is no interaction between iCloud and Google Contacts after a new entry in iOS is created and that entry goes into Google Contacts. So here it is advised to cross-check any contacts added in the Google spreadsheet so that information is consistent and that you will be able to tell changes in your contacts through the spreadsheet. Now, the drawback of the second applet here, and let's just go over there. So the first kind of a issue, which is kind of first profit, but then also like kind of a drawback, is that the contacts that we imported just now, right? Any changes that we make to those contacts in Google will show up in that spreadsheet. And any contacts you add from iOS now, after doing this import, those contacts will show up in that Google spreadsheet. But if you edit any new contact that's been recently added now at the moment, you're not going to be able to see those changes. So hence, like I said, you're going to have to cross-check those newly added contact in Google with your iOS and vice versa. So that way your information is consistent. Now, the other thing you're going to see here is in that spreadsheet that there is no labels for information you filled in. Yes, you put a number in like I did right here. Like you see that I put a number in, but you don't know what number this is. Is it a work phone number? Is it a mobile phone number? Is it a home phone number? You're not going to be able to see any of this in the spreadsheet. So you're going to have to cross-check any of the contacts that go from iOS to Google and any contacts that you add in Google on both sides back to back to make sure that the information on these contacts is the same, because you don't want to have inconsistencies with your data that you have. So let's say when you want to go back to iOS, right? And you don't want to use Android anymore. You just want to go back to the iPhone, the new one. It has more razzle dazzle. So what happens then? Well, here's the thing. The contacts that you added in Google, you can copy and paste all of that information into your Contacts app, either on iOS or on your Contacts app on your Mac computer, or you can log into iCloud and add the contacts. And this is going to be manual labor here. But what happens is, my recommendation to all of this is every 5 contacts that you make changes to or you add, make sure, just take 5 minutes aside out of your time and just cross-check and make sure that the information is consistent. That way, you won't have to do this when you switch to iOS. It's already going to be done as time moved on. But the other thing is, there's a way from cutting this manual labor out. And that method I'm going to show you is create a label called Added in Google. And basically, any new Google contacts that you add, chart them or group them in that label. And therefore, later, when you want to move your contacts in that group, you can just export all of them and then import them into iCloud. And that I'm going to show you in another video. So now basically, this is how your management system is going to work between iOS and Android. So let me go ahead and switch into my Google spreadsheet. Alright guys, so here you can see that I have this strip highlighted of IFTTT, and this is the folder that you're going to see in your Google Drive, and that is what you're going to click as well. So let me go ahead and zoom out. Alright, so once you click in this folder, you're going to see that Google Contacts folder that I mentioned earlier. We're just going to click on that and then just click on Google Contacts. Alright guys, so here we are in the spreadsheet, and you can see here that timestamp, contact, phone number, email, address, groups, birthday, job title, company, notes. All of these are labels that I created because this was how the applets are collecting the information and sorting it. But you're gonna have to do this all by yourself. So the first row, just do that as your first thing. Running. So first experiment and the second experiment was also of me editing a contact that I previously imported. Now what happens is that you're going to be able to tell that this contact was edited because it's not just going to show my contacts alone. It's going to say imported, and then it's going to give you the date. And that is how it's going to tell you that, hey, this is an edited contact. Now, if, for example, you edit another contact that you previously imported, you're also going to see that same contact show up. But here's the catch to all of this. The new information you added in either of these contacts, that's not going to show. So the spreadsheet is just kind of giving you a flag, per se, to go back into Google Contacts and check these contacts. So that's how you're going to be able to go from the Google Contacts changes you made to iCloud. You're going to have to cross-examine them. Now, what if you made a change to a Google Contact on any of your devices, and this contact was previously imported, but you did not make any change? It's also going to show that up here as well. So that's just what you're going to see. Now the other tests were, hey, if I add a contact, where does it show up? So you're going to see it all shows up in my contacts. Now these are the recent contacts you've seen: demo, demo 1.5, demo 2.5, demo 3, demo Windows. And you can see here that demo 2.5 was what I added on the Contacts app. But in order for this demo 2.5 to show up, I could have gone either online or used the app and clicked check now, and then this information right here for this contact would have shown up on this spreadsheet. Now let's say you added a contact, right? Well, if you added a contact and you didn't add it in a group, you're gonna just see this. It's just gonna show up in my contacts. Now let's say I added a Google contact and I basically categorized the contact in the group that I created called Added in Google. To make sure the change showed up, I went online on If This Then That and ran the applet for saving the new Google contacts to a spreadsheet, and this appeared. So that is pretty much how the management system works with the spreadsheet. So here you can see the general picture is for any iOS contacts that you've previously added. If you have changed information by clicking the edit button, that's going to show up. And if you have clicked the edited button to edit a contact's information, but you didn't make any changes, it's also going to show up. And any iOS contact that you add now recently will also show up in your spreadsheet. If you add any Google contacts, they will also show up, as you can see here. Demo, I think, was created in this demo contact that I have. Whoops. So this demo contact that I had over here, this was created in Google. So this is also going to show up. So sometimes you got to give these applets time. And sometimes if you want the changes automatically, like I did over here behind the scenes, you can fire both the applets and the changes will show up. Alright guys, so hopefully at the end of this video, you guys know how to move your iCloud contacts to Google Contacts and keep a system of maintenance between both contact platforms. Now I know this video was long and tedious, so I'm not going to take up any more time, But hopefully you liked this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you did, and definitely subscribe for more videos. If there are any questions, I'm going to leave this video open for comments for any additional questions. But till then, this is Tiki Teguru signing out, and I will see you in the next video.